Hello YouTube, it's me, Kappa Arts, doing a tutorial today on on any cosplay basically. So a very important thing about about doing any cosplay is base pictures. So I'm using my Nightwing cosplay as an example. So I had comic books and I watched TV shows that involved Nightwing, like Young Justice and other Batman shows. So I had New 52 Nightwing, and I had just standard Nightwing, and I also had pictures online. So this is just pictures. This is a picture I like a lot, and that's a good picture. So yeah. Um, so this is the basic materials. Very, this it's not very simple, but this is some basic stuff. Sharpie, very simple, or just a marker or a pen. Um, Standard paper. Sharpie is used for making the stencil and for putting the stencil onto the foam. Here we have a box cutter, removable blades, of course, which is a very useful thing. And you can extend it and pull it back in. Here's a rotary blade, good for thin craft foam, and it's basically a pizza cutter, so it just cuts like that. So it's good for straight lines and thin craft foam. This is good for thick foam. And here's what I basically use for most of it. I have two X-Acto knives. This one's a little bit thicker around the base. Some people may like that. I personally do not, because it's a little bit more uncomfortable. So I basically just use this very thin one. And you can easily remove the blades by twisting the top. And a very important thing is always change out your blades. So I have tons of blades here. I bought about 3 packages of these for around $3. So it's honestly pretty cheap. You can get this X-Acto knife at Walmart for around $5. You can get this one for about $7, but it does come with a lot of blades. Very sharp blades. When I first found this, I found it in like this little school supplies box that my mom has, and I thought it was one of those old-fashioned pens, so I poked it and it cut me. So very sharp blades. Rotary blade, you might not really need to change the blades, because I've never had to change this one, but there's a little twister on the back. These are a lot more expensive. This, easy to change out a blade. You just pull it through the back all the way, and then that's it. These you can buy, very cheap ones, for about $2. This one was a little bit more expensive. You can buy very nice ones for a lot more money. Another important thing is hot glue guns. I have 2 hot glue guns. The blue one was my first one. It's a low temp. The white one is a high temp and is the one I use now. 3 hot glue sticks. Yeah, this about $3 anywhere. This I bought at Walmart for around $5 or $6. Elastic, very important. This is, I've already cut it, so you can see this has been cut. It's about 1 meter long right now, or if you're American like me, 3.28 inches. I mean feet. Here is just a small pink ruler. It's black at the end because I use Sharpies and trace stuff with it. So this is good for circles. It's good for small straight edges. And then I have a gigantic ruler here, good for big straight edges. And then if for the gauntlets, if you're trying to measure out your wrist, like, you can wrap this around. And this is just some tape measure. And this is also about 1 meter, or 3.28 feet. Very important when you're doing stencils is this. This is just a pin cushion, right? But inside are all these little pins. And these pins are very important. And that one's stuck, actually. Holy crap. These pins are very important. This one's almost stuck too, but this one's bent, actually. So, whoops. But anyway, you take these pins and you take your stencil. You can't really see it, but there's the little ball. You take your stencil, and what you do is you put your stencil on where you want it on the foam, and then you just pop in a pin, and it holds the stencil in place. And that is a very good tactic that I picked up from another YouTuber, and that is something that always you should do. Before you do anything, watch other people, watch how they do it, learn from them. So I became pretty good at working with EVA foam from watching other YouTubers. So here's some Mod Podge. This stuff can give a very. This is a sealant for the foam. It gives. I love this stuff because it's non-toxic. You could basically eat this stuff. It's used at daycares, so it's completely safe. I bought this at Walmart for around $5, and this is the medium size you can get. You can much bigger and much smaller. I bought this black acrylic paint at Walmart. Some non-toxic stuff too. Blue acrylic paint, Walmart, same brand, really good, excellent stuff. So basically, everything you see here is available at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. Same with these paintbrushes, very cheap, $5 for I think it was 20 brushes, and you get some good brushes too. Like this is a big brush right here, and as long as you wash them thoroughly after every time you use them, then they're good as new always. And here I bought these for actual painting, not using for my costume, but you can use stuff like this for the costume. See, they're art brushes because they're you can tell they're art brushes because they're super long. But these are very high quality, way more expensive than this, and you get way less. But if you do want to spend more money on brushes, then this is a good way to go. Excellent way to go. And of course, the foam. We're going to start out with some craft foam. This was about 99 cents at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever you want to go. Very cheap, and it's a lot bigger than a standard sheet of paper. And then here is a little bit thicker. This is a bit more used, but it's same size, and it's $1.30. So yeah, it's a lot thicker. And that's basically it. Here is some foam. This is some junk foam I'm using for examples. So yeah, it's been used properly. And then here's some nicer foam. I buy all my foam online off Amazon. I bought 6 boards of foam for about $20 on Amazon, plus shipping and handling, of course, for my whole costume. So for all of this EVA foam, I bought just very small amount. So I'm gonna do a quick tutorial on just cutting the foam. So let me just set my camera down. Let's see if this actually works. How visible is that? That's pretty good. Take your X-Acto knife, or not your rotary blade. Rotary blade isn't very good for cutting the thicker foam. Or you can use this. Just gonna use my X-Acto knife, and first, just stab through the foam, just like that, real easy. And then you have to have one hand on, holding it in place, of course. And then you can just make whatever shape you want. And some people, I didn't cut it all the way through at the end. You might want to go through it twice. Lots of people do that. I personally don't. I like to do it first try, always first try. But I guess I didn't push it down hard enough. So that wasn't very clean. I ripped it off. But this edge right here is a clean edge. See how smooth that is? Nice. But another good tactic is called beveling. Beveling is when you make an edge look sharp and it adds a little bit of more 3D pop. So this has an angle to it. It's a little more visible on this side. And there's 2 ways to bevel. You can bevel inward, which is cutting in like that, or you can bevel outward, which is the same position. But when you're beveling inward, if you want the bevel to be on this side, then you have to flip it over if you're cutting inward. But if you want it to be on the outside and you're just cutting it normally, then hold your blade at a 45-degree angle, or just about, and then just cut away. There we go. Just... Uh-oh. Got a bit messy there. Okay. And this is a much better example. This was kind of a trial piece. But anyway, that's sort of what that looks like. I did really bad on this because I was doing it quick. If you take your time, it turns out a lot better. And this is a weird angle to cut it at. But you can see how that's, there's a difference there. And if you're cutting inward, flip it over, like I said, to the side you don't want. And then you just kind of make the first cut. And then Yeah, just like this. You're going to need a lot of force if you're not using a very sharp blade. This is more of a dull blade that I'm using right now. And cutting inward is 10 times easier than cutting outward. But when you cut inward, it's you also need to sand a lot more. So this is a lot rougher, but it gets the job done and looks good. This is much more even than my previous cuts. So yeah, this is good for swords. I say swords for some reason, just a stupid thing. So you can use this for swords and knives, and for chess pieces too. Unfortunately, I was terrible at beveling, so I was too nervous to even try it. It's a thing with EVA foam; you always have to experiment. So when you're using the elastic to make buckles and stuff on a piece like this, the calf muscle, always take your blade and cut the inside, just like that, and it turns out pretty weird, honestly. That's what it looks like. But this is like protected in a way, so the glue will peel right off of that. So you always have to make a quick incision to take off this protected area to go down to this unprotected area, so it stays on. Once you do that, no matter how much glue you have, it's always going to stick. So that's always perfect. I did the same thing on these. And these pull a lot more, so it's a bit more difficult. Here are the excrement sticks. I made these from a simple dowel and used the paint on them, clearly. So yeah, painted it black. I used wood paint for the wood, and then this is just something craft foam up here, so I just used Mod Podge. Here's a very good look at my costume, and since it's not on me, I can film as much as I want. Stay still. So here's the chess piece. Very proud of this chess piece, since it was basically my own design. And so designing is a thing. I've had people ask me for templates, and I don't really keep the templates, especially since I'm moving. All my templates are basically gone, and I just I don't really like to encourage copying. I like to encourage creativity. So if I show you this, then you'll say, that looks good. You can, directly take this from me. I don't really care, because I'd be honored if you took this from me, actually. So here's the shoulder piece. Here's the elbow guard. This is very black, so it's hard to see. And here's the leg guard. But what you really should do is look at base pictures from all different sorts of whatever costume you're making. So if you're doing like Superman, then look at multiple Superman pictures. And here's the abs. I'm proud of these abs too. These abs are very similar to the Ism Hawk, and I actually didn't know that until I saw the Ism Hawk videos. So I made this stencil before I saw that. These directly connect up with that, so that's pretty cool. Here's the mask made from some sunglasses. Pretty simple. So yeah, that is basically it. I will do a bit more of an in-depth video on my Nightwing costume. But for now, thank you for watching. This is Capab Arts signing out.